Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing some of these gas shocks for the bay doors. So let's get into it. So as I explained a little bit before, you always want to go by the length of the shock when it's extended. So these shocks here are about almost 16 inches in length. These are actually capable of up to 40 pounds. The ones on here are they seem to be a little bit more heavy duty, but I'm not so sure that that means that they can support more weight or not. We'll have to get them off of there and see. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off and I'll show you how we do that. So the way that these things stay on there, there's like a little ball joint on the coach, and then right here inside the end of the shock piece there's this little spring with these little clips, and they go over that ball. So all you have to do is put a screwdriver underneath this clip and just kind of wiggle it up a little bit until that opens up enough where you can slip it over the ball, and then it'll just pop right back on. So okay, this is the old shock that came off of there. It just says JR Products, and it looks like it's got a GN, I can't tell the numbers. Anyways, that's probably the part number right there. So what I did was just cross-reference that. I got these, the new shocks from eTrailer.com, and they're pretty easy. You just go on there and look up put those numbers in, or you can just go in and look for gas strut shocks and just basically look at the length that you need and the weight that they can support. And then they pretty much all have the same type of end fitting on them. So pretty easy to get. See if I can get a better shot of this for you guys. So right here on the screen is that little ball socket where these things just pop onto. So basically all I do is just kind of push this on here like such, and you see how it's already starting to spring that little spring clip off. And you can just pop it on there. There you go. Okay, got the two new shocks on here. I did orient them the same way. The old one that was on here, this was actually turned around. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it looks like it's going to work just fine. So it closes pretty good. And then if you open it back up and lift up on it, it'll go ahead and support the weight of the door. So as far as I can tell, looks like these are going to be good. With these being 40s, I think the ones that were in there may have been 90s. So I might have to go back and replace these, but I'm not sure. It looks like it's holding it up okay. So I think I'm going to just leave it as is for right now. This is the access compartment where we can get in here and replace the house batteries. And we also can get access to replace the engine air filter. So let's go ahead and hit a couple more of these, and then this video will be done. Here's the next bay. These I've already replaced. These I've had to order these in kind of incremental things because some of them are, sometimes they're not available, so I have to wait for their supplies to come in. But these were already changed out. This one was really bad when I think this was one of the ones that only had one shock on it. And whenever you're working in your water bay with the sewer hoses and all that good stuff, yeah, you don't want this thing constantly clunking you on the head. This bay here doesn't need them because the door actually opens like a normal door would. So this is just in front of the water bay, the wet bay. There's actually the water pump is in here and you have access to it, and there's some other storage. So yeah, this one, it just opens normally. This bay here, the shocks are a little different. They're not different, but they're just longer. So the length of these shocks is somewhere between 18 and 19 inches. These seem to be just a little bit longer, but not much. So they should be able to be finagled on there. So let's go ahead and get these off and get these ones replaced. All right, as you can see there, with that being slightly longer, probably not ideal, but I did have to push that down a little bit to get it to go up. The only problem I'm noticing is that could be a potential problem, is that right there, now the door sits closer to the side of the coach. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not. I really don't think it is, because there is a, looks like some sort of latch here anyways, or something that used to be a latch. So it just kind of bumps up against that. So yeah, it's not hitting the paint or anything. So, and again, I'm not so sure that these, I mean, they seem to work okay, but I think I may have underrated myself a little bit on the weight. But with it staying up like that, it ain't gonna be that big of a deal. All right, this bay here was the exact same as the last bay. So these will probably be slightly longer, which means that the door will probably be pushed up a little higher. All right, this is a good one here. This is one of the bays. We're back to the using the shorter shocks. But I was telling you before, this bay right here only has one shock on here. So if I let this thing go, it just slams shut. So we're going to put these on here. Put this new one on here first. And then we'll get the, yeah, that one just popped right on. And then we'll get the other one replaced. There. I noticed with these spring clips in here too, like I showed you before, I didn't really have to, with that little spring clip inside of there, I didn't really have to use that screwdriver as much as I thought I would. They just pop right over those little ball joints. So, but nice to have it in handy. We'll use it to take them off, that's for sure. So that one's off. And this one's off. And then this one will go right on. There, see, it just popped right on. I didn't even have to use the screwdriver. Probably do the same thing on this side. Just line it up in the hole. And there it goes. Popped right on. So that one holds up good now. That one was falling down before. And I noticed that this, because this is a smaller door, even though these are, I think, still rated at 30 pounds, they might be the 40-pound ones, but it really supports this door nicely, and it doesn't push it up any higher than it needs to go. All right, that'll do it for this video. If you have comments, as usual, please leave them below. Hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you would. That really helps me out. And I'll see you at the next video.